Now let's get to that reason. So it is for reproduction, but how exactly does this work? Well, something that is common between all members of the deer family is the females choosing the males. It is a type of selection process where the females kind of weed out the bad males and pick the best one. A lot of variance because deer are very different from one another despite being members of the same family. They have very different herd dynamics. Some of them roam in entire herds, split herds, bands, or even solo, like the moose. There's a lot of variance, but there's that one thing in common. There's usually multiple males and multiple females, and the females choose the best male for the mating season or the rut. Now, the best male is the one that gets the most energy, eats more food than all of his peers, and doesn't die. Now, not dying is a very easy thing to weed out if you are able to choose from a pool of males. None of those males are dead. But how much energy each one got, that one's going to be a little bit more complicated. But that's where the antlers come in. The males give the females a little bit of an assist. They grow out these antlers. Now, all of the males dedicate the same percentage of their total energy out towards growing their antlers. Therefore, if one male has a larger set of antlers than the other, then that one likely got more energy than his peers. And that's all there is to it. More energy means more antlers, therefore the female should choose the male that has the largest, most defined set of antlers. It's an incredibly simple process that has led pretty much all deer to success over a span of generations and generations. It is why they have those prominent antlers. Now, if you look off to our right, it looks like we're going to be passing our male mountain goat Klahani.
Just sitting on the ground.
Klahani is a mountain goat. There's also something you can kind of see through the tree line, although it is pretty difficult to spot them from here, but do not worry, we are actually going to loop back around this area, meaning we get to see them from the front perspective, which will make it much easier for the spotting. But our mountain goat friends, they are a type of cattle.
Oh, look.
So because they are cattle, they love grass, and there's a pretty good bit of grass in our big marsh. And also a lot of water. Water is a super important thing for all animals, and Meek Marsh is abundant in it because there's a bunch of wetlands in the center. But there is one animal that you actually are not going to see at all in the free roaming area, probably ever. And that is the chorus frogs. Now, chorus frogs, you don't see them, but you might just hear them. I'm going to see them because they are small amphibians.
Oh yeah, it's a baby
swim.
one.
And you see a black-tailed deer baby off to the left,
It's
along
a
with a few
baby.
other black-tailed deer.
No, black-tailed. Baby right down in here.
Looks like that is the band, that is the majority of the black-tailed deer band that is roaming with them. Bands are these small mini herds of black-tailed deer that are composed of around 3
Did you see
members.
Ryan?
They form them to establish territory while minimizing their footprint.
Oh, look.
No, there's an owl. Is it alive? Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, it's dead. No, is it?
It could just be a statue.
It's not a statue. No. Did you see it first? Someone did.
See the owl?
Did you even see it?
Owl on that tree? You totally redeem yourself after that window. Take it, it'll be more.
Oh, shout. No, very cool. You see him?
I think baby deers.
There's a chance they may not even be out at all. They could be just being completely silent right now and not making any noise. And sometimes you do that, just like our seeing animals, you sometimes see them, you sometimes don't. With our hearing animal, the chorus frogs, you sometimes hear them, you sometimes don't. But if I continue talking, you are not going to hear them, that is for certain. So I'm actually going to stop talking as we head down this hill, and pass through the most dense part of the chorus frog area. I hope you guys get to hear them, but of course it is always up to their own discretion. They can choose to be loud, they can also choose to be quiet. Alright, and I am back. We've mostly left the chorus frog area, and I do have a burning question for you guys. Were you able to hear any of them? I can't hear them very well because there's tram noises up front that do drown out the sound for me. I hope that you guys got to. Oh, there's a quick peek over there. It looks like a stump. I do see a Roosevelt elk bull off to the right. He's going to be bedded down the tree, so he's kind of difficult to spot, so definitely look for those antlers.
Yeah, big antlers. Yep, you see him? Oh, yeah.
This is the
What is he, like laying down?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See him?
Straight back. Hold on. Straight back. You see him? See the horns? Those big, tall horns?
Oh, yeah.
Straight back.
He's so far back there.
Right there. See him?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I can get him on video.
That's huge, man.
That's about that.
You see right now.
Right in
See
there.
that big ass tree that's the fat one. Right behind that fat tree right
Did you catch it?
And got him a little bit. You see him, Mama?
I actually want to provide some brief but super helpful information about wetlands in general. So there is an incredible way that they benefit people, and it has to do with that we're going to see a little bit later on. It looks like we're getting a much better view of them now that we're
Okay.
Go real slow as we pass. It looks like we're passing the nanny goats. These are our female mountain goats.
See him?
Oh wow.
It's just each other.
You were slouching a bit. The light was
So there's record of mountain goats. They relocated to areas that didn't have adequate access to salts, and then they were attacking hikers because they would sweat and they would smell the salt on their body. So then they had to then remove them from that area and put them in an area that actually had access to salts. Yep. Yeah.
So people can look at the goats.
There's nothing behind.
Yeah.
Nobody else looks.
Maybe he's waiting for the train.
Slow train. It's not like we're gonna rush to get anywhere, right? Yeah, but I'm
Alright, now that we are mostly past our nanny goats, we're going to be continuing into our next area. This intersection is called our black pool. I'll show you in just a moment. Now, if you look off to our right, you're going to see Blackpool in all of its glory. Now, we're not quite there yet, actually. We're pretty close, though. But it's not looking very black at the moment. In fact, it's looking quite green. It's because it has taken on this new algae growth on the surface that is making it look pretty green. Although normally it looks kind of black and brown. But unfortunately, with the hot summer weather, it has lost a lot of its water. So it's also looking a little bit sad. But that's alright. It will bounce back once the winter season does come about.
so sad.
Now, wetlands, there's one thing I wanted to tell you that I did not get to. And that is that wetlands provide us a clean, renewable source of drinking water. Now, if you've ever seen the surface of a wetland, it's pretty gross. At least for humans, when it comes to drinking from it. Other animals can drink from it just fine, but we can't. It would make us incredibly sick. But humans don't actually drink water on the surface. Wetlands don't stop at the surface either. They go down through many, many layers of rock and silt. They become finer and finer grained as you approach the bottom layer. Eventually, once you have hit the bottom layer of the wetlands, the water has gone through so many layers of filtration that it's already incredibly safe to drink. Now, water at the bottom moves through these channels called aquifers. Tapping them, or people will tap them and they will redirect them into well water systems. So if you've ever had water from a well, you likely have had water from a wetland, which just shows how important they are.
Maybe we could see that deer again.
Now we saw our Roosevelt elk bull earlier. There's a chance we may be able to see the bull from this angle as well. Oh, to me, I believe I have missed the near angle, so if there is one there, I do apologize.
I see it. Yeah, I see it. Right there, you can see it.
But not only the bull Roosevelt elk, but all Roosevelt elk in general, they are a very incredible species. They're the largest species of elk in the world. And that's why those antlers look so amazing. This also is their peak antler time. They've already shed their velvet and their growth period has ended. But at one point, they were not always doing as well as they were doing today, and they almost went extinct. This is due to the conservation. And the reason that it didn't go extinct is due to the conservation efforts of one person. We're going to call him Teddy for now. Let's get started with his story. So Teddy would notice every now and then, because he was a hunter, a responsible hunter like most, he would go out, I'll get a few Roosevelt elk every now and then, but every time he went out, he noticed that the elk herds would become smaller and smaller,
Who is this guy?
and they would be harder and harder to locate. And eventually he started to realize what was happening to the elk. So Roosevelt elk, at the time Teddy was alive, they were very much in demand. Because they're the largest elk species in the world, and everybody wanted a set of their magnificent antlers on their mantle. Now, because the demand was so high, there was just too many hunters and not enough federal regulation. Now, none of these hunters were irresponsible. In fact, pretty much almost all of them were responsible hunters. The problem was, there was too many of them. Now, because of this did lead to overhunting, which resulted in that reduction in their numbers, and almost led to them becoming endangered, even potentially extinct if it got worse enough. So Teddy, being in a unique position at the time, he decided to challenge this. Because the person I'm referring to is, of course, Teddy Roosevelt, the former president of the United States. Since he was the president of the United States, he did have some conservation abilities, or he did have a greater ability to help kind of conserve the Roosevelt elk. So first thing he did is he helped enact legislation to put a temporary freeze on the hunting. This was to allow their already threatened population to bounce back. He also enacted laws that would prevent the overhunting that occurred then from ever occurring again, by limiting the amount of people allowed to hunt and the amount of elk able to be hunted at one time. This government regulation is a key role because that was the ultimate problem. There was just no regulation, too many hunters, and that's why they were going extinct. There's one more thing that Teddy helped enact, and this actually still exists here today. Yellowstone National Park. This wasn't just a sole effort, this was a team effort with multiple people. They did play a very important role in the construction of Yellowstone National Park, which is a place where Roosevelt elk kind of had a safe haven, but not just Roosevelt elk. The conservation doesn't end here. Many other animals who may face challenges out in the wild can also seek protection in Yellowstone. It has become a conservation place for not just them, but many other animals alike. So because of the conservation efforts of this man, they did earn the commemorative